Josh Morrissey, give me one word to describe the vibe surrounding the Winnipeg Jets at the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, obviously it's the best time of year, and you work hard from the moment, I guess, you're eliminated the year before or whatever ends up happening the year before through the off season, training camp, and obviously a grueling 82 game season to be ready for the playoffs. And for us, we had a good season, good regular season to put ourselves in a spot to be in the playoffs. And I think we feel that the improvements we've made this year compared to last, and in our team game and the depth that we have this year, gives us a chance to be competitive in the playoffs. Obviously, it's the toughest trophy to win, but all you need is a chance. All you want is a chance, and to feel like you have a team that can do it. And we feel really confident in our group.
Yeah, so we're gonna chat about a few of those topics that you mentioned and the team game, but it's been a really interesting season in general. You guys, I guess, kind of maybe fair to describe it as hit a little bit of a rough patch in March and have sort of since righted the ship to enter on a high note. What do you think has been the difference as you guys found your game again?
Yeah, I think, every team goes through adversity during the season and periods of time where maybe they don't love their game. And for us, we had such a long stretch in the first half of the year, and that, stretch at 30-some games with really good defensive hockey and not allowing a lot of goals. And I just think that we got into a part of the schedule where, we were really busy. We were playing a ton of games in a short period of time, and without any real practice time or anything like that. And, I think the difference between that period and now is we've kind of got back to our structure. I think the excitement of, we have to get our game right now before, getting into the playoffs and into game one. So I think all those things have just kind of been a part of it. But what I liked about our group was, even when we were going through a period of time we weren't playing our best, I don't think we lost any confidence. I think we kind of knew what we needed to get back to. Our coaches gave us a good message, and even through that period, we still found ways to win some games and not totally go into a massive slide. So I think those are some characteristics of a good team, just being resilient, and even when maybe you don't have your best stuff, not staying in that funk too long and getting out of it like we have.
And at the same time in March, I guess, like a lot of other teams, you're also assimilating some new players in from the trade deadline. What have those trade deadline acquisitions meant to your team?
Yeah, totally. I mean, first getting Sean Monahan just after the All-Star bye week break there, that's been a huge addition. I think what he's brought to our team in the face-off circle on our power play, a veteran guy that has had an amazing career and, has gone through, has documented some injuries over the last number of years. And for him to finally be healthy and, playing without pain, I guess, he's just been fantastic and really just given us so much more depth up the middle and fit right into the room. Tremendous guy and a lot of fun to play with. And then at the deadline, getting Toffoli and Colin Miller, those guys have been great additions as well. They seamlessly fit into the locker room. Both veteran guys, and I mean, all three of those guys are veteran guys with a lot of games. So they bring a lot of experience into our room. And obviously Toff winning a cup in LA, I think brings that playoff experience and understanding, I guess, of what it takes to win. So, all of them have been great additions, and it doesn't always work. I think this time around it's been fantastic, and especially just the type of people they are and their personalities. It's just been pretty seamless transition bringing them in to our team.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about and buzz about Toffoli and Monahan, but not really as much talk about Colin Miller. And when you have a new guy that comes in, if you were to explain your team's structure, and I don't necessarily mean X's and O's, but your sort of mindset of how you defend, how would you explain it to him for a new guy that walks in the door?
Yeah, I mean, without giving away all our secrets, not that there's anything crazy, but I mean, just trying to teach about our system. Basically, the coach's job is come in, and when he comes in to show him the X's and O's and what we do. And I mean, most teams, do similar things in the D zone, neutral zone, etc. There's really not that much variance around the league. Some teams are man on man, some teams play more the center release or the zone or whatever you want to call it in D zone. So, and then the different neutral zone stuff. So, I mean, he's been around a long time and has been on a number of different teams with different systems. So I think, I'm not sure exactly what the differences for him would have been from Jersey this year, but, like I said, I think it would, for him as that veteran guy with lots of experience, it's easy to do. And as a group, we just try to, answer any questions he has. But Millsy's been great when he's been in, and we've got a pretty veteran back end. So us as a group try to do the best job we can in front of Helly, and get the puck to our forwards as much as possible.
Yeah, you mentioned off the hop the idea that you guys want to try and fine tune your game as much as you can to be able to compete in the playoffs. And we all know that the game is a little bit different when it comes to the playoffs. How much of that focus or focal point on defending as a team do you think is critical to that success in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, obviously, playoff hockey, it becomes that much tighter. The margin of errors is smaller, and little mistakes and little effort on both ends of the ice, I think, make the difference, and everyone's competing. It's intense. There's big moments, and I think when you rely on your structure, it maybe that's really a key to winning in the playoffs. Everyone always says defense wins championships, and I haven't won a Stanley Cup, but when we have had some playoff success, certainly everyone's got to be on the same page. And I think the teams that do win and have won over the last few years, Vegas last year especially, we saw it in the first round. They're a great defensive team, defended hard, and I think didn't give up a lot of free offense. So that's really been a hallmark of our team this whole season, and something we've been proud of is being one of the teams that allows the least goals in the league, and certainly with our goaltenders, makes our job a lot easier every night to be in that category. But our commitment to one, I think our 5-man game, but also our depth and systems that the staff's put in place, and the buy-in from the players has allowed us to be a good defensive team. And so, that's what we're going to have to, hang our hat on, I guess, going into the playoffs as well, and continue to be sharp with our defensive game.
Your goaltenders, as you mentioned, get a lot of that sort of focus and accolades for this season and the goals against that you guys have allowed. What's it like stepping onto the ice every day, knowing that you've got Connor Hellebuyck behind you to cover up any mistakes that might happen?
Yeah, it's a treat for sure. I was talking a few days ago with one of the guys about that, actually. Like, I don't know how many, I guess Helly just played his 500th game, and we kind of came into the league at a pretty similar time. So I've been fortunate to play, for sure 450 probably plus games with him behind me. So
it's almost all you've ever known.
Exactly. So it's been pretty fortunate to have a goalie like that, and just he's such a calming presence. His style, he's very calm in the net. He's a very confident guy, and I think as a group we feel that in front of him. So I'm definitely, like I said, I'm very glad that I've had the opportunity to play in front of him so many games in my career. And as well, Laurent Brossoit this year has been fantastic. When he's been in there, it really, I don't think he's probably got as much praise for his play as he deserves. He's been unbelievable, honestly, in the games he's played. So with both our goalies, they make up for any mistakes or a lot of mistakes that you can make in front of them. And so as a D-man, they definitely can be your best friend on a lot of nights. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm, no doubt. Having spent so much time around Hellebuyck, has he changed at all? It seems like he's more comfortable. Not that he ever wasn't, but even just noticing little stuff off the ice, interactions I've seen. I saw the Seravalli, feature at his house. He just seems like he's a little bit more confident. Not that he ever lacked for that, but in himself and where he's at.
Yeah, I mean, he's a pretty private guy, so I don't think he's, let people into his circle a lot, and he doesn't do that very easily. But, from the first time I met him, really, we were probably, I would have been 18 or 19, and he just signed out of college, and we went up to St. John's, Newfoundland, where the Ice Caps were the Jets farm team for a bit of a playoff run. And, I met him there, and just talking to him, you could tell he had a kind of exuded confidence, and he had a lot of confidence in his ability. And, it didn't rub you the wrong way at first. You just kind of went, wow, he's a confident dude. You know how he had a ton of accolades in college hockey, and he believed right away he was ready to do that at the pro level, and he did. And even I remember, I think my rookie year in the NHL, he had gotten pulled one game, and the media asked him about his game, and I think he said, I have the ability to win a Vezina Trophy, within the next couple of years. And I remember kind of thinking, like, man, that's a bold statement. He probably didn't have 40 starts in his career yet at that point.
I think I was there that night, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Blake Wheeler was kind of like, he did a double take as he heard it walking by, and it was like, what was that? That almost everyone was kind of like taken aback in the second, but now it's funny, you watch him play, and he's, multiple Vezinas, and you're like, okay, this guy knew it right from Jump Street.
Totally, and I think that's, like I said, at every junction that I've kind of played with him as we've gone up through sort of the system, he had that confidence level, he had that belief, and he's had a plan of how he was going to achieve sort of the next level and the next level, and he's always done it. And so I think that's probably, when I look at him as one of the great goalies, in our league and in this generation of the NHL, as I guess the greatness of him as an athlete, I think, is his confidence, is his belief in what he's doing, his plan. And again, when you have a goalie like that back there, and he has that level of confidence in his game, I mean, it's certainly, you feel that as a player in front of him. And so, again, it's just, it's been a pleasure to have the chance to have him as our goalie.
What about you? I mean, you're almost 600 games into your career, and you're right. I think the confidence is such a huge part of any athlete's success at this level. Even the best players in the world sometimes, deal with some confidence issues. How different is your game now and your headspace when you get to this point in time, 600 games into a career?
Yeah, I think for me, it's been a gradual progression in my career. I don't think by nature I necessarily come into the league or walk into, a new team or whatever and necessarily have that same confidence that Bucky has. I think, I have a bit of a different personality. Sorry, my puppy here hates.
Oh, all good.
And so I think it really has been a gradual growth for me in my career. When I first came in, I was playing with some great defensemen. We had a really deep back end, and the opportunity for me was more to, have 5-on-5 minutes and, some penalty kill, and sort of evolved into some shutdown paired with Jacob Trouba. And sort of as things evolved with our team and our back end throughout my career, some more of that opportunity to play, in all situations sort of arose. And I think as that happened and as I got more comfortable in the league, my confidence grew. And certainly when our staff came in, the new staff last year, I think it was kind of the right time in my career for me to take a jump forward. And, I was ready for it at that stage, at that age in my career. And with the work, that I guess I always tried to put it in the off season so I could be ready when maybe that opportunity would come. And been a lot of fun sort of the last couple of years, really, I guess, growing as a player on both sides of the puck and taking on more responsibility. And it's just, like I said, I've been fortunate to be put in great situations and play with great players and just try to make the most of that.
Mm-hmm. It's probably easy, Josh, to take for granted now as you guys close in on 110 points. But this season, I guess, looking from the outside in, maybe had the ability to go a little bit sideways. Like, we weren't sure. There was all this talk heading into the summer. What's going to happen with Mark Scheifele and Connor Hellebuyck? We saw, some roster changes, a big trade last summer. And then obviously there was a chunk of this season where Rick Bowness had to step away for some different reasons. What do you think has been the common thread? What's the reason behind the resilience that this team has shown?
Yeah, I think, obviously, as you mentioned, myself, like everyone, was curious to see what happened with, Mark and Connor last, I guess, summer and heading into the season and how that would play out. And I think I was probably as happy as anyone to see those guys get signed and have the opportunity to keep building what we've been trying to build together, for the last number of years. And as someone that signed, for another 4 seasons, certainly I'm pumped to have both those guys around. But I think, just as you mentioned, with Bones being away and, with some of the other adversity we face, I think just the resilience. I think our leadership's great. Adam has been amazing, done an amazing job at captain this year. And I think the players we brought in, at the deadline, even going back to last year, Vladdy and Nemesnikov and, Niederreiter, and, in the trade with LA this summer, bringing in 3 quality players that, have experience in the league. The depth of our team has really been huge. So when we've had injuries to Kyle Connor or Gabe Vilardi or, Mark Scheifele being out, or Bones has been gone, or, any of the other things that have happened, we've had other guys that are ready and able to step up. And so I'd just say, whether it's the depth, I guess, at our staff when Arnie has been at the helm, or, the depth of our lineup and players, everyone's, we've been fortunate to have guys that have been ready to step up at the right times and make that difference for us.
So in the first round of the playoffs, you're going to be going up against a team that also has a lot of depth in Colorado. For whatever reason, you guys have fared well against them this year. Is there anything behind certain teams matching up against certain others? How does that work?
Well, I mean, honestly, I don't put a lot of stock into, the record in the regular season versus the playoffs. I think it's a totally different animal. And, realistically, whether you finish first or eighth, obviously there's some seeding things, home ice advantage, etc. But, once the playoffs start, no one cares what you did in the regular season. So we played them twice earlier in the year, and obviously now they've got a much different team. We've got a much different team. They've got some of the best players in the world, and so it's going to be a great series. I think, the other night we played really well. Probably they wouldn't feel it was their best game. And, at the end of the day, I don't expect the series to look at all like the other night. So I think the best thing to do is turn the page from the regular season. And like I said, becomes first to 4 wins. And what happened prior to that doesn't matter.
Given some of the awesome experiences that you guys have had in Winnipeg as a group in the playoffs with the Winnipeg whiteout, describe for me the feeling of what it's like stepping onto the ice with whatever it is, the Top Gun theme song playing and just an entire building erupting.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I think I kind of took it for granted because, my second year in the league, we had a good playoff run and made it to the conference final. And since then, we really haven't, been able to, I guess, have any long runs. And so just the way that the city came alive in that experience, and, the people of Winnipeg are very passionate hockey fans. the Jets really matter to the people. I think to the DNA, fabric of the community here. And so when you step out onto that ice, it's electric. It's obviously one of the smaller, if not, I guess, depending on what happens with Arizona, it's probably the smallest rink in the league. But it's loud and the people are right on top of you and you really feel that support. So, hopefully we can have a good playoffs, a long run and be able to, I guess, give the people here what they so badly want is a long playoffs run and the chance to have a, Stanley Cup winning team in Winnipeg. So it's definitely an electric environment in the city when the playoffs start.
Josh, I'll leave you with this. You mentioned a number of facets as to why your team has had success this year: depth, resilience, goaltending, focus on defense and commitment. So I want you to finish this sentence for me. The Winnipeg Jets will go on a memorable run in this year's playoffs if...
Yeah, I think if we stick to our structure, our game plan, I think if we do those things and win the special teams battle and all the little things that come in the playoffs. But if we, stick to our structure, believe, I guess my puppy didn't love the answer, but yeah, that's what I think. Just stick to our game plan, stick to our structure, what we do well and have done well to be in this point, and don't ride the highs, don't fall into the lows and just be even keeled throughout this playoffs. I think that gives us a chance to, be at our best and see what happens. You hear guys that have won cups at various points in their career. You never know what year might be that opportunity for you. And so, as someone that's, 600 games-ish into my career now, for me, I'm thinking, hey, maybe that could be this year and let's not waste that opportunity and see what happens. So I believe in our group. I believe in our team and, our staff and our goaltending and everything that we have. So feel we have as good a shot as I've ever had since I've been in the league to try and do some damage. And, now it's just about, doing everything you can to try to make that happen.
Why not, Josh? It's been fun watching it all come together this season for you guys in Winnipeg. Really appreciate your time and looking forward to watching you guys in the playoffs. Best of luck.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Frank. I appreciate it. Great chatting.
What's up, hockey fans? If you enjoyed that video, then you need to be hitting the subscribe button right here at Daily Faceoff. Exclusive interviews and analysis from our hockey insider Frank Seravalli, fantasy updates from Brock Sagan, and a daily live show at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday. You don't want to miss any of the fantastic content, so hit that subscribe button.